Hello everyone, my name is Gary. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is called Growth Happens Over Time, Not Overnight.
Gary Gretarson Beats.
I feel like this is one of those things that everyone realizes but is unwilling to accept. You're not just going to put out a song or a piece of content and suddenly everyone in the world is going to know you. There's this myth that's been sold to us that somehow, some way, that one day we can just overnight become known by everyone in the world and be ultra famous. It's not real. It's never been real. It's never actually happened. Overnight success has never actually happened. There has never, ever, ever been an overnight success, period. It doesn't exist. Get used to the fact that it doesn't exist. It's never going to happen. It never has happened. It never will happen, period. That's it. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing. If anything has ever seemed to happen overnight, it's only because that's all you see. That's all you've seen. You haven't seen what's happened behind the scenes. You haven't seen or heard what's been happening leading up to that point. Okay, so you have to be aware that whatever it is you're doing, most of the time I speak to people who make music, but it's not only relevant there, it's relevant everywhere. So whatever it is you're trying to build, trying to grow, trying to do, it's not just going to happen. You're not just going to put out a video, put out a song, do a thing, put out an Instagram picture, and all of a sudden it's going to go viral. Like it just doesn't happen that way. It takes time for you to build to that point. And then by doing things, you eventually find your way to the point where something blows. So something could be one piece of content, one song. Really, there is the truth that all it takes is one thing, one song, one album, one video, one thing, right? But how do you get that? How do you get that one thing? How do you find that piece of content? How do you find that song? How do you write that? How do you create that? Well, you create hundreds and if not thousands of other things that lead you to that point, right? You do a lot of stuff. And then at that one moment, you create that one thing that goes further than you could have ever imagined. I mean, I don't like sports, but think about who are the best sports players of all time, who are the highest achieving players, LeBron James or something, or Tom Brady, right? Championship winners, always, excelling in the moments where it's critical, right? How does that happen for those people? How do they do that? How do they get to the point where they are that good, right? Well, what do you think they've done for years, decades of their life leading to that point? They have done those same things over and over and over and over and over and over again. So that now that activity, that thing has become an extension of them as a person, as a being, like part of their body, part of their soul, part of their being, everything. It's more than second nature, really. You you have to understand that you can't just do something and expect everyone in the world to love it. Even if you made a great song, does that really matter, right? Do you have something else? Do you have other things around that are appealing to someone? Because now, I mean, now more than ever, there's so many things that are vying for people's attention. So if you don't have more than just a great song, why should someone follow you? Why should someone look at you? Why should someone be your fan? You're not just going to make a bunch of money by selling a song, because you can't really sell a song anymore. You can't really sell these things the same way that could have been done before. So, I mean, really the point of this is that you absolutely must create a way to carve out time in your life to create consistently and to do things consistently, even if it's less stuff, but more consistently over time, because that's how you grow. That's how you get better. That's how you grow a fan base. That's how you just grow as an artist, grow as a person. So, I mean, what I usually like to do is set up a schedule with a client, with someone who's seeking this type of growth, seeking a way to move forward in their career. And that's once a week. If you can carve out one day a week where you do dedicated work towards your goal, your art, your music, I believe you'll be shocked with where it can go within just a few months, and then a year. Because if you set aside, let's say, like I do with someone, about 4 hours per week, right? That's not even a full day. 4 hours per week. We find a way to carve out that time in my schedule and theirs. That now you have something to look forward to. Now you have something to plan for. You have a week between those days to come up with what you're going to do on those days. So that is just sporadic, periodic notes in the phone, any little prep work you need to do, practicing things, right? What is the list of things we're going to work on? And then you carve out that 4-hour block. I mean, you can carve out a little more, maybe 5 if you like, but just think of it in something in terms of something manageable and something that you can do over time. Sure, you can do more work in between when needed, right? But right now we're just trying to find a way to get you to do consistent work, because if you're not doing any work, if you're not doing any work, finding one day a week is going to motivate you, make you insanely productive, because it's not committing you to this insane amount of work that can seem just, overwhelming to a lot of us. When you see the amount of work you have to do, where am I going to find the time? And then you just don't do much of anything. I think everyone can attest to that being the case at some point. Carve out one day a week, 4 hours, 3 hours, whatever, and just in between, just little planning for that. If it's content you have to make for Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, maybe set out an hour or so of those to create little pieces of content that you can prepare and put out drip throughout the week, or maybe if you're a singer, rapper, spending the time working on songs, do a song, right? And then throughout the week, listen to it. And then do the song again the next week. Wow, what an amazing concept. Redoing a song. Oh my God. I've had people redo songs 7 times. It's not about, oh, well, that person's not good. No, it has nothing to do with that. How do you get good? Number one. And number two, it's merely about getting the best possible result from something. How do you get the best possible result from something? By doing it a lot. Do it a lot. So if you have some kind of schedule, once a week you're working on this thing, because I know everyone has a lot to do. You probably don't have as much to do as I do, but you probably have a lot to do. So if you can just set in your mind that, okay, I'm doing this once a week, this is what I'm devoting that time to, and you'll be surprised with what happens, because it starts to lock you into a more comfortable kind of creative flow that's not overwhelming, that's not overbearing, that's not pushing you down, but lifting you up. You're getting a lot of work done before you even realize it, because it's consistent, but it's not over the top. I've had people try and book studio time and book a day. Oh, this was great. We got so much done. It's so great to work here. This is great. Are you available tomorrow? I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. And worked with them 3 times in 1 week for the first time that I started working with them. And that is a lot. That's going to burn you pretty quickly. Funds as well. But that's going to burn you out a little in the sense of you can't keep up with that. And then, so what are you going to do? You're going to do a crazy amount of work this week and then not get anything done for months? Why don't you pull the reins in a little bit and take the time? Take the time. All right. Once a week, I do this, and then I think about it and I work on it, and I come up with a plan to work on other things as well as revisit that one next week. You see? So as you get better at that as well, you can find a way to have a longer to-do list as you move forward at times. Not always, but some things just require the entire 4 hours of your work and potentially more. But if you're setting up a schedule like this, you will really be surprised at what happens. So, I mean, I could probably ramble on and on about this for too long that you would not be here for. But as long as you can understand that, like, by making a manageable schedule and being consistent with work, even if it's less work, but more consistent, you really will be surprised with what happens. But you need to understand that it's going to take time one way or the other. So you could either try as hard as you can to work all this stuff right now and get nothing done, or you can ease it up, set up some kind of schedule, and say, hey, this is the day every week that I do this. I don't drink that day. I don't go out that day. I don't care if there's a family party. I mean, unless it's one of the most important parties of your life, I don't take anything away from that time of that day. I'm not saying 24 hours. I'm saying 4. Okay? So there's other things you can do that day. But this needs to be set aside. And now you can know that that's always ahead of you. I'm always leading up to this day, I'm doing this. Okay? Sure. There's going to come a time, there's going to come some things up that really require you to break from that day. But I mean, what I have found with some clients of mine on this schedule is that, oh, something came up, I can't come this day this week. What else do you have open? Let's switch a day just for this week. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But be willing to switch it if needed, and stick with it over time. This is not, hey, we booked studio time, we got this done. And, that's it. That's all we need to do for the rest of the year. You got to be consistent and know that there are certain things that need to get done and put out and certain things that need to be worked on for an extended period. So you work out and organize those things in the order of, this is something I'm chipping away at over time, and this is something I'm getting done right now and putting out there. Okay, and you mix between the two. You have both. You must have both things. So if you're a singer, there's quick covers I do X amount of times per month, and then there's certain covers I do more work on and produce full versions of and really refine, and then there's certain original songs that we work on over a month's period. Rappers, same thing, except with rappers you can just be a little more creative with it, I think, because you can just write verses over any of those free beats on thousands and thousands of free beats on YouTube. Thousands of free beats, free for you to use for promotional. So every week you should absolutely be doing, once a week, a 1.5 minute verse over a free beat on YouTube. I apologize. The camera battery died there. So as I was saying, if you're a rapper, I mean, specifically a rapper, singers can do the same thing, honestly. You can do the same thing. And you know what? Maybe you should. But with rappers, I've found that it's so much more streamlined here. You wanna build a content base to build a fan base. You wanna grow. You have to consistently put out content. But you really should not be making all your songs and just throwing them out there, because that's a waste of good material. So, free beats. YouTube has so many free beats that you are free to use for promotional use, that you should be doing a video of you recording a rap, a 1.5 or 1 minute, 1.5 minute verse that you write every week, and putting it together and putting it on YouTube and putting a clip of it on Instagram to get people to YouTube, okay? But just also as content for Instagram. And doing that once a week, every week, for years. Do you have any idea what's going to happen to your voice? What's going to happen to your writing? What's going to happen to you and your feeling in front of the camera and your feeling about your writing? Do you have any idea what's going to happen? The growth will be compounded, not just grown, but compounded on top of itself. And the songs that you do make during that period, or moving through that or past that, the real songs, the full songs that you write, are going to be so much better. Not to mention the fact that you may end up writing some really good stuff that you can expand on and make a song out of. You know, if people start responding to a particular freestyle, we call it, it's a written verse over a short clip, you know, over a free beat. But freestyle, right? Whatever you want to call it, who cares? Just do it. Just fucking do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Don't think about, oh, well, what can I write? Just write. You're a rapper. Write. You're a lyricist. Write. Do it. Now, like I said, singers can definitely do that too, but singers can also just do covers, their own way of something once a week. Once a week, do the cover, something rough, quick, live-ish, but recorded as best as you can, and filmed and put out there. And then periodically you work on larger produced material. Maybe larger produced covers that you put out and stream and all that, and then original stuff that you write and work on with a producer or yourself or whatever, or band, anything. Same thing. Same thing. If you're in a band, even better. I mean, if you're in a band, you have a band and you rehearse once a week anyway, why are you not streaming rehearsal, at least a portion of rehearsal, at that same time every week? On live on Instagram, your phone in the corner. Why are you not doing that? You have to be. You're rehearsing anyway, right? You should be. If you're not rehearsing once a week with a band, you're not a band. Period. At least once a week, excuse me. So, anyway, I could go on about this for a while. I might make another video, part 2, to extend on growth in this context. If you have questions about it, please leave me a comment. Ask me anything. In fact, if you have an idea about what you'd like to learn about, go ahead and just leave something down below. Let me know what you're thinking, where you're at, what you're struggling with. What are you struggling with? What is the thing that's preventing you from doing this work, from putting in the time once a week to get something done? What is it? Let's talk about it. Let me help you. This is what I do. I help people. I provide my experience and information to people who are trying to grow as a music maker, as a musician, artist, producer, engineer, beat maker, anything, songwriter, singer, or just creative person in general, trying to grow something. Let me help you. Leave me a comment. Ask me questions. I will definitely respond. I will definitely create a video around something if it's something that important. I'm looking for ideas to make more videos. So please let me know. Okay? That's it for today. I'll see you again soon.